2022. Tom Ginn here. G is for gratitude. G is for gratitude. Hey, I just wanted to let everybody know that I hope you had a holiday full of gratitude, blessings, joy, peace, and love. The last 2 weeks of the year is a very special time for myself. My wife and I, we take that time and we celebrate the gifts that have been bestowed upon us from um, our Savior. But anyway, that's a very special day for myself, my wife, and many of you out there as well. So I just want to say we are grateful for this moment. 2022, no matter what happened in the last year, the previous 2 years, we've been challenged, but it's been gratitude that's carried me through, kept the doors open, kept my attitude in a place of what I call thinking homeostasis, didn't react, responded accordingly, and the blessings have been bestowed. So, gratitude is what I've been using in my life when I became totally aware of it and how powerful it is, and how it opens up all other doors for our well-being, our thinking well-being. Um, so we learn to respond and not react. But G is for gratitude. I call it the mortars between the bricks of life. And no matter what's going on in our life, if we lean into gratitude, gives a different perspective, gives us hope, it changes our faith, it brings out the good in us, it brings out the good in others, and your life changes immediately around you with gratitude. So towards the end of last month, we were talking about pushing up people, and I was going to dive deeper into that book by Art Williams. I'm going to get back to it. But I believe coming out of the holiday season, moving forward, we've got goals, we got dreams, we got aspirations. And I want to dive into a different book. Well, Jeanette. Oh, wow, Jeanette is a good friend. Okay. Well, thank you for making your comments. It's a powerful book. It's one of those principles that I'm incorporating in my life and encouraging other people to do it. Yeah, the key here is he walks his talk, and I think that's the key when you have a vision and a purpose in life, and you walk it. The world will manifest exactly what you put out in this world. So. We're grateful to know you, Jeanette, and being part of the ASEA team. And I just want to bring some attention here to you is that, ASEA gives me the freedom to do what I'm doing. And I like to let people know that there are options for our health. There are options for building income. There's options for businesses. And ASEA is filling that role with myself. And I've made it a point to make, they're not a formal corporate sponsor, but ASEA allows me to do what I do and love doing, and that's sharing and helping people. So, Jeanette, thanks for jumping on, making your comment, push and share this out. Sort of lead off with this. What fuels your day? What fuels your day? And one of my great friends and colleagues who passed this last November, he always brings it to my attention. It's called a Chuckism. Is what's the one thing you can do today to make a difference in your life, in somebody else's life? What's the one thing you can do? It could be that simple message in a chat. It could be a reach out. It could be a call. It could be an email. It could be sending a card. What's the one thing you can do today to make a difference in the world? And when we do that, things around us change, and That's what leads to this book here. So I'm going to be covering the introduction today. And then on Wednesdays and Fridays is the dates I bring guests in if I've got guests to be scheduled. But we'll be focusing on this book. Encourage you to get this book, The Go Giver. Matter of fact, this book was given to me by a colleague in New Jersey as part of her networking group, and she sent me this book with a nice card in it. And I immediately started reading it and studying it and starting applying these principles. So I wanted to start off this year, 2020, with a whole new perspective, a whole new way to move forward in your life. And but before I do, I want to make sure I get some announcements out. I'm going to share a little bit with you here that anytime I reference a SIA, what it does or anything like that, we're just want to stay in compliance. We're not making any medical claims. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. I want to make sure that we stay in compliance with that. If we do talk specifically about a SIA, or if you get into any of the links we have, we want to make sure that you understand that. But it's this phenomenal technology that we're sharing with the world, and everybody needs to know about this for their own personal health, their family's health in the long term. So you're going to learn more about our sponsor as we go. I do have some announcements. Tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, Mark Gass and I, Elevate Your Profits, are going to be on tonight. And we're just going to be talking about some principles that are important to start the new year off with. And we're going to make some announcements there. So join us tonight, Mark Gassert and I, on Elevate Your Profits. Turn on your notifications and join us, make your comments, and participate. What I always like to do is that you want to learn more about this right here. This is our corporate sponsor, SIA. I just want to pose a question for you to consider. What's in this blue bottle? It's an amazing, amazing technology. The link here right here, the link trees /4 rivers, that will give you a good insight of what the technology is, the product. I encourage you to look at it on a personal basis. Who do you know that has looking for preventive health or have health concerns, looking for more performance on the athletic side and everything in between? Take a good hard look at it. This is a significant changer. It's a new science and a new technology that has been recognized as possibly the greatest science and medical breakthrough of the 21st century. But we'll let you see why that statement might be true. So, but today, G is for gratitude. I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for the future. And that may only be 10 minutes. That could be a year. That could be who knows what it is. I am grateful for this moment, because it's what we do with this moment determines how we move forward in anything we do in our life. Everything is cumulative. Our beliefs and our attitudes, our actions, they all stack up and give us the results that we're at. But the beautiful thing with a shift in an attitude, a shift to gratitude, no matter what's going on, you can make a very significant change in your life and the life around you, those around you. So let's talk a little bit about this book. And, Jeanette, if you're still out there, I'd sure like to have an opportunity if you can make that introduction to the author of the book and have him on as a guest. That would be absolutely a phenomenal and amazing opportunity to actually meet the people that wrote this book. Today, I'm just going to cover just the forward and just cover some points that when I read, I don't just read a book. if you saw my library of books, they're marked with ink marks and pencils and highlighters and footnotes. Um, I really study the words, not just the content and say, well, that sounded good, but how can I take this and put it to work in my life? Take the wisdom of those that have been down a path before you and guide you to where you need to go. And so study, just another book that I recommend. The principles in this book are part of the principles I teach in my coaching. I'm always available for anybody that would like to have a conversation about where they're at, where they might want to go, setting a clear vision for themselves. That's my expertise, is helping people better understand. There we go. If you ask and you shall receive. Say, Robert, how you doing? All right. Thank you very much for making your comment. Thank you, Robert. You're an awesome guy. Let's continue our dialogue on the things we've talked about in the past. Um, but let's talk a little bit about this book. The author is Bob Burg and John David Mann. John David Mann. You know, we hear these concepts, giver's gain, and you know, do we really understand the law of giving? Because everything in this universe operates by law. It's non-man made. It works no matter what environment you're in. And a law is, like I said, is not man-made. So um, when we understand law, physical as well as energetic law, we start becoming more in control of our lives. And then we're not the victims and we're not reactionaries, but we are actually recognizing the situation with a different perspective. We look at it creatively. What are the solutions? And that's through gratitude, really brings you to that place. And then applying principles like this, the go giver. You know, giving is touching other people's lives. And how do we do it? It should be an expanding circle. How can we do that? You know, we got to do it in an authentic way. We're coming from the heart, and that we do see people, we do hear people, and we do care. But to be a good giver, one must also be a good receiver because it's a reciprocating law. You can't give if you can't receive. And how many times they say you want go to give or do something special for somebody? Oh, it wasn't necessary. They don't accept it at a deep emotional level. But when you can receive the accolades, the help, the encouragement, the listening, and accept it, you then become a better giver yourself. And when we look at those people that we look up to, or people in history or associates, I find that the people that I am drawn to are givers. And I look at my life and I look at what I have done, and it's only through my own awareness study that I was all about me in the past. And what I found out, that's contrary to the law. And I only learned this through coaching and mentoring and reading and studying. Has changed my life significantly. And that's part of my passion, is to share this information so it can make the difference in somebody else's life. He was really, the author is in the foreword, that the foreword is written by Arianna Huffington. And I think she encapsulates some things for us to ponder and think about as we go through this book. It captures more than just a fable, a parable, or a pipe dream. It's real. And it's a path that people can follow in their daily lives. It's a path you can incorporate in your daily lives. I think it's important. You know, people want to believe that this world that we live in, and when I say the world, I'm not just talking the globe, the world. I'm talking about the world that you're in right now. I call it the bubble of life, your immediate spot in life, a microcosm of the universe. And how can we change the world? And the best way we can do it, if we look at all the sages and the mentors of the past, they focus on others before they focus on themselves. Thanks, Ted, for making your comment. Love you too, man. Thank you for participating. Quick recovery. Can't wait for you to get out of the hospital, and continue prayers um, uh, on your healing and recovery. And you know, when we do give, how do we feel when we give authentically, without anything, with expectation in the world, in the coming back to us without any expectation? How do we feel? That's a great feeling. So why don't we continue doing that and always be uplifted with that feeling? But more importantly, when somebody gives to you, how do you feel? That's another great feeling. And just try to put yourself in other people's spot and recognize that these are needs of all human beings. I love Maslow. These things I've studied in my coaching. And basically, this principle breaks down to a core need that we all have in the area of what we need as human beings. Number one, my wife is probably one of the best people that has taught me this. She walks her talk with it. Is, do you see me? Do you hear me? And do you care? Those principles are directly in alignment with the go-giver. It's not giving gifts or giving something of the tangible world. Those things are important if there's a need, and you're doing it out of your graciousness of your heart with no intention of anything coming back to you. You're doing it to help and support that person. It doesn't have to be something physical. You know, we move many times when we hear these things, and I can put, you know, maybe rationalize this myself. We get internal dialogue and we get external dialogue about this principle. We're pressured by those voices. It's cynicism, resignation, telling us this is a dog eat dog world out there. And you've got to look out for number one. That was Tom Ginn. It helped me be successful in many areas, but also caused me to stumble and fall and not be the fullest and best individual I can be. So what is the chatter? Giver's gain sounds great. Experience it and know that it's real. It's a law. And then the other side that people say, well, gee, the reason you can give is because you're already successful. You got the time, money, resources, financial stability, and you can afford to be a giving person. It has nothing to do with monetary or physical. It could be that simple phone call. A simple compliment when you're out in public at the grocery store and you give a compliment. from your heart at something sincere. That is a giver's gaining principle. In this book, she was saying, the authors has given us this term, go giver. And many times when we hear these terms, be a giver, we think of charities, writing of checks, or giving back once we've obtained time, more time and more money. Think about time. It has a definite. It's not the time we're here is such a small time. Utilize the time to the highest power. And as Bob and John said, be a giving person, period. One who gives thought, gives attention, gives care, gives focus, gives time and energy, gives value to others. You know, each one of us out there are talented geniuses. We all have a gift that can be shared. Why hold it back? Make it a blessing. We all have something to give and share. And keep in mind the Ariana Huffington in her closing sentence, and this is so important. This is not a quid pro quo, not as a strategy to get ahead, but because it is, in and of itself, a satisfying and fulfilling way to be. Givers gain. The Go Giver. I just encourage you to get this book. Read it, study it, apply it, and watch what happens in your life and those around you. It could be the simplest thing. It could be getting off this Zoom call right now. We got Robert and Ted chatting back and forth. Yeah, giving has many forms. And Ted's asking how Robert's doing. So that's where I want to start today off with 2022. I was going to stay in the book, Pushing Up People, but I believe this will give a principle that all the great leaders use in their coaching, their mentoring, and their walks of life. And keep in mind, it's our nature to be giving. It's not a goal. It's within our nature. Embrace that into your heart, and it will flow backwards, flow out, and come back to you. It's our nature. Don't have a goal to be more giving. It is your nature. That's from another mentor of mine that shared that with us. You don't have goals to be something. It's already your nature. Glenn Morshower. It's your nature. And again, this is a principle of everybody that's hearing this today. Do you see me? Do you hear me? And do you care? That's the essence of this book. If we can incorporate that when we encounter anybody in our family or business relationships, that we take the time and get ourselves out of the picture and focus on them. How can I support you in your walk of life? How can I help you become better? How can I help you become healthier? How can I help you obtain happiness? How can I help you increase your joy? And I remember the speech that Nick Saban did. I just studied his speech, and it sort of comes back to this, and I'll close with this. It will give you an insight of your nature. And Nick Saban says this, one thing that you wanted question, and the question is, how do you pray? Do you pray to get something, a blessing, or, or fixing something, or solving a problem? Or are you praying to be a blessing to the world? And I'll close with that. Ponder that question and pray to be a blessing to the world. You have the gifts, talents to make a big difference in lives of people around you. With that all said, G-Force. And tonight again, Elevate Your Profits, Mark Gassert and I. We'll be doing Elevate Your Profits. We're having some dialogue about some principles to sort out this year, to move yourself forward in your thinking, in your belief systems, to help you search out better ways to bring more prosperity in your life. Elevate Your Profits starts from here within your mind, within your heart, and all the actions you take will determine your success in life. So with that all said, everybody have a great day. I'm grateful for 2022. I'm grateful for this moment. It's what I do with it right now determines what happens in the next moment, happens 5 months from now, 5 years from now. I want to grow. I want to become better. It's my nature to become better. Because if we're not growing, we are dying. So with that all said, everybody have a great day. Ask yourself that question. Am I praying for blessings, or am I praying to be a blessing? God bless everybody. Have a great day. We've got a couple more comments coming in here. Thanks, Robert, for your comments. Thanks again, everybody. God bless. We'll see you on Wednesday. We'll be getting back in this book, The Go-Giver.